But like I said, it's lesson 2. Hey, y'all pay attention. It's lesson 2. It's Samuel's ministry established. It's 1 Samuel chapter 8. It's 1 Samuel chapter 6 for the verses. This connect thing, I mean, y'all don't have that, so I'm not gonna read it. It's basically just worthless. Just talking to people. But here's your questions. Sitting.
Don't get the Bible out.
No, he was because you answered all the last ones last time.
Yeah, that's why I called you out. The first question I want to ask, like y'all can answer if y'all don't want to answer, y'all don't have to. First one's kind of a yes or no question, I think. Has it ever occurred to you that you may be your own worst enemy sometimes? Yeah. Yeah. It says explain.
You target me every time.
I don't target you. I just look at you because I know your answers. Home, Warren, camera girl, you want to answer?
What?
You want to explain how you've been your own worst enemy sometimes?
Don't be telling my secrets.
No, hey, it's you telling them. I'm not telling you.
Like, I
You
guess.
shook your head yes, so. I mean,
Did I really though?
Come on, guys. This class is just us, okay?
In these walls.
Yeah, these walls of Jesus, like for real. I know most about y'all anyway. So I mean, you tell me it's nothing. There's nothing to do to me.
I guess because like, y'all don't look at me, gosh.
Don't look at more.
So like, I guess basically you could be your own worst enemy because you know what. I guess you know how to press your own buttons, if that makes sense. Like, you know what gets you the most. And you won't believe anything else because you kind of trust yourself, but at the same time, depending on your situations, you may not.
What's that? Slowly.
Everyone's dressed like
Y'all are late. I need to see your tardy slip.
I'm not.
Tardy slip. Mine's just.
I will start giving out tardy slips.
Where's your little smacker? We gotta clip the tardy
Tell
slip.
your mom to get you here on time.
Well, we were here on time, but
Sorry.
Jason's trying to play and you say on the piano.
See?
Right there. That's my
Yeah.
party.
Okay, well I punched it one time today.
What was it?
He Siri tardy slip.
You two look like you just.
But the first question, I already asked it, but y'all can just go yes or no. It's like, has it ever occurred to you you may be your own worst enemy?
Yes.
Do you want to explain it or you don't?
He made me talk.
Well, yeah, you would have said it. Alright, hold on. I said your question too.
Oh, don't you do
Punch
it.
your tardy slip too.
Bro, come on now.
Have a seat, sir.
Hey, this class, I'm just
First question I asked him is, has it ever occurred to you that you may be your own worst enemy sometimes?
Why do you put this type of stuff in it?
Hey, this is like the opening question. I ain't even asked the other two.
Bruh.
You make me cry again today.
You'll be okay. Has it ever occurred to you? It has for me.
Braxton. He's rocking the hunter.
You said, Sydney, has it ever occurred to you? Jenna, has it ever occurred to you? Or did you
I
just
asked
say?
the class.
You looked directly at me when he asked
Before y'all came in here, and I even had to answer because
I
She
said,
had to
explain.
I said, do you
Lauren
want to
said she's
explain?
growing
And
up.
she started explaining, and then she got interrupted. You want to finish?
up.
what do you mean?
She didn't finish.
She did.
She did? Oh, okay. Never mind. I thought you wasn't. I thought they walked in and kind of cut you off.
I mean, I could talk more, but you know,
No,
we're on
no,
a
no,
time.
no,
We're on a
no.
time
If
kind
you
of thing.
finished it, then you finished it. But the second question is, wow, okay. Second question is, why do you suppose it's so hard to have purity in private places?
Because it's private, no one sees it.
Exactly.
But what's in the darkness comes to the light, so you
Exactly.
better watch out. Doing some things you're not supposed to do.
Everything you do on something, it's like a circle. Everything you throw around will come back around on you. Even if it is
It's a boomerang.
hidden, but it's going to come back around sometime.
Just remember, Jesus is
And a
watching
lot
you.
of times you tell on yourself.
Bro, just like that scary story about Jesus.
Oh no, don't be talking about that.
Uh,
That was creepy.
No one's ever seen it.
I thought it was cool.
Don't be a jerk in class.
Plus, she was saying that nobody's there to see it. Sometimes your friends can pressure you into things that you consider private, but they pressure you into it. So peer pressure also puts us into a hard spot when you're trying to live pure, of course.
Like bad things, like alcohol and drugs, and other things that we should not mention.
Methamphetamine.
Yeah.
All right, this is the last question. They're almost out of the bushes.
Out of the bush.
Can you think of one thing that you dream of doing in service to God that you have not yet accomplished?
I wanna be a youth minister.
It said, is anyone else?
Stop talking, unless you're talking to Daniel.
Anyone
or the
else
class.
want to share your? Basically, more like a calling. It's not really much of a dream. It's much of a calling. You
Well, that's
feel
her
it.
calling.
She wants to be a youth minister.
Yeah, that's her calling.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's more of a calling than it's in the book. It says dream. In my book, it says dream. It's
Well, you
more of
can
a
label
calling.
it as dream. I mean, calling.
Well, if God's calling you,
Yeah,
to it,
if
He's
God,
gonna
if
bring
you know
to
it's
it,
God
yeah.
telling you to do, like if,
Yeah.
like with Daniel, he's called to be a pastor. So,
I don't know much about to be
Well,
an evangelist.
well, you're called to do both.
No
But
problem.
No problem.
All right. It says God desires to minister.
I know break the
Don't
chair.
break chairs, but, God desires to minister through us for His glory. It's a powerful and encouraging lesson that we can learn from the life of Samuel, even the nation of Israel. So, somebody wants to read. This is the first little point. It says Samuel calls Israel to repentance, and it's 1 Samuel chapter 7, 1 through 6, and we want to read that. I mean, I got my Bible on the table, it's easy to read.
Jenny really wants to read it. She already has it open.
I'm not a youth. So.
Okay.
I'm the camera person, so I don't have enough hands
Does
for
it
that.
mean you can't read?
Jay says my phone.
I'm illiterate.
7, what?
7, 1
through
through 6.
If you want to read the first
Like-
three and someone else reads the second three,
Sure.
So bad.
break it up. But after the first three,
They're big words.
Oh.
first three kind of parts.
I would do
These are
it.
big words, so bear with me, people.
Okay.
So the men at Kiriath Jearim came up and took the ark of the Lord. They brought it to Abinadab's house on the hill and consecrated Eleazar his son to guard the ark of the Lord. The ark remained at Kiriath Jearim a long time, 20 years in all. Then all the people of Israel turned back to the Lord. So Samuel said to all the Israelites, "You are returning to the Lord with all your hearts. Then rid yourselves of the foreign gods and the Ashtoreths, and commit yourselves to the Lord and serve Him only, and He will deliver you out of the hand of the Philistines."
That was first. That was all 6.
Done.
That was 3.
Okay, first three. Okay, hold right there. In verse 2, where it says talking about Ark of the Covenant being returned to the house. This was after the battle I told y'all about last week when the Israelites went out with the Ark of the Covenant. They were slaughtered. The Ark of the Covenant was stolen, and they put it in the house or the temple of Ashdod and Dagon. And if y'all don't know that story, I'll tell you at the end if you want to know it. It's a very interesting story. But this is when they had returned it back. But the Israelites were still mourning because they were sorrowful because they didn't mean to get the Ark of the Covenant stolen. And of course, God was taken from them. Because that was their basically line to God. It was taken from them. So they were sorrowful and sorry that it got stolen. And they also realized they must turn back to God if they were to be safe from the threat of the Philistines, which is their age-old enemy and other invaders. So somebody read 3 through 6. Hit it.
You mean 4?
4 through 6.
So the Israelites put away their Baal and Ashtoreth
Mine does it too.
and served the Lord
It's the
only.
name.
Then Samuel said, "Assemble all Israel at Mizpah, and I will intercede with the Lord for you." When they had assembled at Mizpah, they drew water and poured it out before the Lord. On that day they fasted, and there they confessed, "We have sinned against the Lord. Now Samuel was serving as leader of Israel at this.
There you go.
Okay. Now, this is also where people preach on intercession, because Samuel, the first thing he responded to them was, I'll go on God's behalf and intercessor for y'all. So basically he was going in their place to go before God, and at this time, well, during this time, I'd say, most people would go to a priest, and the priest would go before the Ark of the Covenant, and y'all know he would jingle bells the whole time. If he wasn't pure, he'd die, they'd pull him out because the bells would stop jingling. But what the priest would do is he'd go before the Ark of the Covenant, present a burnt offering in your place, and do the offering for you, and your sin would be covered. But at this point, that's what Samuel was kind of doing, because he's now the high priest at this point. So he was going before God and intercessoring for the Israelites. And that was the one thing he did for the Israelites. Because God, every time before when the Israelites messed up, God would punish them like a father to a child. He would discipline. And so Samuel's intercession, God's intervention, is 1 Samuel chapter 7, 7 through 13. Somebody read the first 3 verses, 7 through 10.
Bryson,
What is it?
7 through
7
10.
through 10.
And the man of, I don't know that word.
Try.
I don't know, what's that word? Something Jerome?
It's down there. It's down, it's 7 is down there.
7.
7 through 10.
His verses, buddy.
Now when it's goes.
Now when the Philistines heard that the people of Israel had gathered at Mizpah, the lords of the Philistines went up against Israel. And when the people of Israel heard of it, they were afraid of the Philistines. And the people of Israel said to Samuel, do not cease to cry out to the Lord our God for us, that he may save us from the hand of the Philistines. So, does I stop at 9 or keep going?
Keep going to 10.
Number 10.
So Samuel took a nursing lamb and offered it as a whole burnt offering to the Lord. And Samuel cried out to the Lord for Israel, and the Lord answered him. That's 10. I go read it.
I'll read number 10. It said, while Samuel was sacrificing the burnt offering, the Philistines drew near to engage Israel in battle. But that day the Lord thundered with loud thunder against the Philistines, and threw them into such a panic that they were routed before the Israelites. Okay. Here, this is Samuel's intercession. The Philistines attacked again, and before this, the Philistines whooped their tail. So they were going to Samuel, basically being little babies, crying to Samuel, saying, hey, tell the Lord to save us, tell the Lord to save us. So he does. And the Lord, of course, like a father, protects his children. And he sent a thunder to reroute the Philistines basically away from the Israelites, send them into a panic, got dispersed. So the army was basically not even strong enough to do anything because they were so scattered they didn't know what was going on. Somebody would read 10,
Yeah, 11.
11 through 13.
What is it?
So it's 1 Samuel 7, 11 through 13.
First Samuel 7, 11 through 13.
And the men of Israel went out of Mizpah to pursue the Philistines, and drove them back as far as below Beth-Car. Then Samuel took a stone and set it up between Mizpah and Shin, and called its name Ebenezer.
Yeah.
Well, they pronounce it Ebenezer. Ebenezer's good too.
Saying, thus far the Lord has helped us. So the Philistines were not subdued, and they did not
come any more into the territory of Israel, and the hand of the Lord against the Philistines all the days of Samuel.
Okay, now this book says how did the Lord intervene. Of course, he sends thunder to put them in a panic, and they basically ran out, and the men of Israel left Mizpah and pursued them and slaughtered them along the way. And when they got to where they drove them all the way below Bethkar, which is pretty far away, he set up a stone between Mizpah and Shan and said, "This is the line you do not cross." Basically told the Philistines, "This is the line you do not cross." So the Philistines never invaded again and never tried it again. And that is basically how God saved them. Okay. It says that this here explains the purpose of the stone he used. It said Samuel did not want Israel to forget the miraculous victory over the Philistines, so he set up a memorial stone between Mizpah and Shan to serve as a perpetual reminder of what God has done. He named it Ebenezer. I said Ebenezer. Meaning, up here the Lord has helped. If the Lord could give them victory on that day, he could give them victory on every other occasion when enemies attacked. Faith looks forward, anticipating what God will do because of what he has done in the past. There's a sermon in that, okay?
There really is one of that.
Yeah. I mean, faith looks forward. People tend to look backwards.
Ooh.
Got that one on there. This one is restoration and peace, which is 1 Samuel 14 through 17. It's only 3 verses, so everyone wants to take it away. Take it away.
Ready?
Oh gosh.
That sounded gross.
Well, it was. I felt it.
Ew.
She tasted it.
You tasted it?
I would taste it.
Nice.
Then the cities which the Philistines had taken from Israel were restored to Israel, from Ekron to Gath, and Israel recovered its territory from the hands of the Philistines. Also there was peace between Israel and the Amorites. What do I read to?
17.
And Samuel judged Israel all the days of his life, and he went from year to year on a circuit to Bethel, Gilgal, and Mizpah. And judged Israel in all those places, but he always returned to Ramah, for his home was there. There he judged Israel, and there he built an altar to the Lord.
Well, that was basically, I mean, it was pretty much self-explanatory. God restored the 2 cities that the Philistines had taken from him in the battle, and he restored them back to Israel. And Samuel built an altar in Ramah, and that was his place of birth. So, since then we're pretty self-explanatory, these are some more questions I get to ask y'all.
Yay. As he laughs at us.
No, it says, this is one that says, well, this is not, these are the 3 things we're going to read before I read the questions. So prepare yourself. It says, the influence of a godly family. His father was a faithful man who went every year to the tabernacle to offer sacrifices. His mother devoted to the Lord, to her family. Now, that was Hannah and her husband. Okay, that's talking about Hannah and her husband. And when they gave Samuel to the Lord, he followed under Eli. And it says the power of prayer is the second point. It says Samuel was born in answer to a prayer throughout his ministry. He prayed with faith. Samuel was recognized as a man of effective prayer. His mother prayed. First his father prayed. His mother prayed. He prayed. Okay. So he's come from a praying family as well. The call of God. Samuel was gifted both as a prophet and a judge because of the manner in which God appeared to him, Samuel never doubted that he was called of God. Pretty self-explanatory. And of course, Samuel was faithful and obedient to God at all times because he had the influence of a godly family, power of prayer, and the calling of God are sufficient to produce effective ministry. We must be faithful and obedient. In the words of Samuel himself, certainly obedience is better than sacrifice. Okay. Now that I read those, here's your 3 questions. Who has been a godly influence in your life?
How you think they say my parents?
Other than me.
Jeff.
Jeff, Nicole, Lacey, Angie,
The
Daniel.
whole church. Okay.
Basically, yeah.
Yes.
No, Ashley and
Gino.
Can't forget you.
No, we cannot. Pig and Beauty.
Alright, the second one, would you consider yourself a prayer warrior or a prayer weakling? Wow. That was
Harsh.
Oh, weakling.
Yeah, are you weak or are you strong?
I'm strong.
Strong.
It's not as right now, I'm a little sore.
All of
prayer.
us could be stronger. Like, it doesn't matter
Yeah.
how much you pray, it doesn't matter how often you
Not
pray.
physically,
You can
mentally.
always be stronger in your prayer life.
Yeah,
Clap. Everyone clap.
you get an A plus for
I like that answer.
Hey, you're passing the class.
Do I still have an F?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not strong, but I'm not weak. I'm right, you know.
He's average.
Oh,
He's at the line.
He's an
This
average.
one, I know why the first question said dream, okay? Now it says, what has God called you to do, or to be?
To be.
She said youth ministry. And you know, God don't have to call you to be a minister, a pastor. He can call you to be a prayer warrior, cleaning the bathrooms, a janitor. He can call you anything.
Flipping like big burgers and
Flipping burgers and McDonald's. I mean, somebody comes at you and asks, you know what? See that you're a Christian. You know what? You know, tell me about it. And then now you got a ministry at McDonald's flipping burgers.
Yeah.
Pray over every burger.
If I flip burgers
Uh-uh,
at
we don't go there.
McDonald's, you ain't
That was
getting no
too far.
seasoning on it. You just get the frozen patty. That's it.
Oh, why?
I'll give you one cold fry.
Okay. So when I ask for one large fry, you're gonna give me one big large fry? Cold.
No.
That
Large
was
fries
my
are-
idea.
Small fries.
Okay, like
Small
2
fries
years
are-
ago, we went to McDonald's. They said,
Okay, here's the last question. And this one, I want y'all to be, Jason, I want y'all to be honest with me, okay? It says, are you walking in obedience to God?
It could be better.
It could be better. I like
In
that
some
answer.
areas,
Like-
yeah.
Like some areas, yes, but then again, there's also some areas that I still need to work on.
Mhm.
Mine, I'll tell y'all one of mine. Mine was, I won't go with emotions, because your emotions are basically what your worst enemy is your emotions, because humans have a lot of them. Mine was, anger, I was real angry all the time.
Hello.
Yeah. I had a very hard time dealing with anger, because somebody would, like, if they just looked at me wrong, I'd ready to fight. Okay?
That's me.
He was one of those people.
Yeah, I was one of those people.
Oh, you was one of
Um, so I had a problem with dealing with my anger
With people,
sometimes.
basically.
Dealing with other people. And stupid people. But I had to pray God for basically patience with people. And now my patience is a whole lot better.
Because you can deal with
Talking to
us.
y'all, yeah. I test my patience all the time.
Hello. That is an offense, okay?
I'm just kidding. Y'all test my knowledge more than my patience.
Good.
But,
Great. Brace.
What
It's
the-
pretty strong.
What?
I don't know, I'm really tired.
That's what she was trying to say.
She wouldn't dare.
But
Shut
like I
up.
say, I ask God for patience with other people because I have road rage too. Still trying to work on that.
Road rage,
Yeah,
when you.
Yeah, road rage is rough. But like I said, you know, your emotions are pretty much your own worst enemies, pretty much. Because humans have a lot of them.
So we all should become robots, okay?
No. Just learn to take your emotions and use them the right way. Because passion is good. Passion in the wrong manner is not. You can have a passion about something like, see, I can have a passion about music, but if I'm singing about money, sex, and drugs, then yeah, I'm not using my passion.
You might as well go to Hollywood.
I'm not using it. I'm not using my passion in the right way, and I'm using my emotions for something different. See, Johnny Cash. I'll use Johnny Cash as an example. Yeah. Johnny Cash actually was a gospel singer. He was actually a Christian. And what happened is when he went into the studio and recorded, the guy basically said that everybody's doing gospel music. You need to do something else. He was like, but I have a passion for God. He's like, you need to lose your passion for God. And Johnny Cash basically said, all right. And he came up with the genre of basically the depression side of the country, losing stuff, losing a girl, getting a girl. That was his side. That's what he started. That's why they call him the king of country. So that's what Johnny Cash came up with. And before he died, he actually told that story of that he actually was more depressed being famous and not knowing Christ than being poor and knowing Christ. He said that he wished he would have never even got into country music. Another example was Elvis. Elvis was a Christian too.
No way.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He was a gospel
Presley?
singer.
Yeah.
He was a gospel singer, and he did the same thing. If y'all ever hear, I think it was, it was Jensen Franklin. Jensen Franklin did a sermon on the Spirit of Python. I may do it one day.
Is that the one you've been talking about lately?
Yeah, Spirit of Python. It's been on my head. So I might start writing it down. It's real powerful. He talks about Kurt Cobain. Y'all may not know him, but he was the lead singer of Nirvana. He was basically a 90s singer. He sang Teen Spirit and stuff like that. He was real popular. Then he taught about Tupac. And he taught about, what was that one? There was a lady, I forgot her name.
Oh.
He taught about Whitney Houston. That's who it was, Whitney Houston. She he taught about how the Spirit of Python can basically creep into you. What the Spirit of Python is it's basically, if you have you ever heard, y'all know what Python snake is. But how it kills is what it does is it'll grab on and it'll turn around, and every time you take a breath in, it'll squeeze. And when you exhale, it won't squeeze, it'll stay at tension. When you take another breath in, it'll squeeze again. Because basically what it's doing is trying to catch your ribs to keep them from going down, to keep you from exhaling breath, so it basically suffocates you. So that's what the Spirit of Python does. That's what he was explaining. So talking about how it relates to this is how I said your emotions can be your worst enemy. Your emotions can constrict you. Because I know a lot of people battle with depression a lot, and depression squeezes it out of them. So that's how that relates. And one thing I said before I finished this class, what time is it?
10:33.
10:33.
My elbows are hurting though, so.
Well, take them off the table.
Well,
I just
this
did.
last thing I'll say, and you can stop recording. I was going to tell y'all the story about Ashdod and Dagon. Well, basically what happened is when the Philistines took the Ark of the Covenant, they put it in that temple of Ashdod and Dagon. Well, they were fertility gods. Do y'all want to know how they work?
Yes.
Alright, yes. What happens is they have what they call temple women.
Simple.
Yeah, they have sex in front of, they have sex in front of the statues. This is what they do. That's how they worship that god. So they. Okay. So that's how they worship their gods at that time. So when they put the Ark of the Covenant in there, they set it up under Dagon. Or Ashdod. I think it was either Ashdod or Dagon. It was one of them. They set it up under it because they thought their god was inferior to theirs. So when it was the morning time, God would come down and basically sit on the mercy seat and hear his people. Well, when he came down, there was no one there to worship him. So God looks back and goes, boom, it goes right, the statue actually lays in front of the Ark of the Covenant. And when the people come in, they see their God sitting there and like, oh no, so they put it back. God comes down the next day and goes, back in. But this time, he removed his head and his hands. He laid his hands at the threshold of the door. I think it said his head was somewhere else. But all that was laying there was a torso in front of the Ark of the Covenant, and they said the Ark of the Covenant was possessed. So they gave it back to the Israelites. And that's the story of Ashdod and Dagon. He basically destroyed them. And on your Starbucks cup, that little emblem, it's actually Ashdod. That's Ashdod.
No longer goes to